Hey, it's Ryan from Motorcycle.com here in New Mexico for the 2022 Kawasaki KLR 650 introduction. Yeah, so I think the biggest change and what a lot of people were looking for in the Kawasaki KLR and kind of were probably hoping for in these last few years was fuel injection, and now the bike has that. We're at elevation now. We've been varying throughout the last couple days, and I actually have the chance to ride this thing home to Long Beach, California, so it's going to be a big change, and the bike hasn't suffered like you would with a carburetor. So you know, it's a big change. It's a welcome change for people that are really interested in the KLR and kind of, you know, want that newer technology that's going to just make it even easier to go farther on the bike. You know, one thing that's really cool and probably been this part of the success of the Kawasaki KLR 650 is how easy it is to ride. I mean, honestly, it's probably on everything in the market, it's probably the easiest adventure bike to ride. There are other things in the 650 class, but maybe they lean more towards a dirt bike. But this motorcycle is capable of long haul traveling, and on this trip we've encountered everything from long stretches on the pavement, very silty, dusty sections, rocks, two-track, all kinds of really fun terrain, and it really was a great showcase. You know, Kawasaki did a great job of showcasing everything this bike can do because it's been so easy to ride in these terrains. The bike isn't, you know, it's not a overly performance-driven machine, but it'll get you through anything, and it's a great price point. So I think that's what's really cool about the bike is that you can get in at a reasonable price point, and it will do everything that you're willing to do. You know, if you're willing to push it, it's kind of tractor-like in that sense. You know, you can kind of get over any obstacle, and you know, are you going to be hitting triples on it? Probably not, but it really did a great job at everything today, and you know, judging by the jubilation at the end of the ride today, I think everyone had a good time. I think you know, the little incremental changes, you know, the longer swing arm, beefier axles, some of those things are probably what stood out the most to me. Because the bike feels really stable. You know, if you're on a loose gravelly road, you know, it's like riding on marbles sometimes. You can back the thing in or slide it around a little bit with the rear brake on the non-ABS model, and it really is very stable, and it kind of comes back really well. I'm 5'8", so the bike fits me really well. I didn't hear much groaning from the taller riders here. I mean, I think we've got guys that are 6'3", and some of them decided they wanted to roll the bars forward and whatnot, and that worked out for them. The foot pegs, it would be really nice if we had a rubber insert that we could take in and out with a beefier foot peg with more grip. That's honestly, it's probably one of my, you know, bigger nitpicks of the day, was that I would rather, with the dampened foot pegs, with the rubber mounted foot pegs, it's great for on-road, but off-road you get a little bit of that flexing, and then that continued with the flex of how big that rubber, you know, piece is on top of the foot pegs, kind of gives a little feeling of my, you know, feeling my feet are about to fall off the foot pegs. So not so into that, but ergonomically it fits me great, and wind protection was good. It trapped a little bit of heat around my lower legs, but with an adventure helmet on, with the peak and everything, the new windscreen was more than capable of keeping the wind off my face, so that was good. So the brakes have been upgraded on the new KLR 650, and I've got a friend who actually did the upgrade on his older model KLR, steel braided brake lines and a bigger rotor. You know, that was definitely something that he felt like he needed to do. I rode the bike before and after, and it was a game changer. This new KLR has a bigger rotor and has upgraded brakes, and you know, while the braking performance is better than it was, I think there's still room to improve for sure. With the rear brake, no problems at all. I thought that, you know, it was, the brake lever was in a good position right with the foot peg and easy to use, but the front brake, mostly for street riding, it could use a little bit more power. So yeah, again, price point is a huge selling factor for this bike. Starting at $6,700, you get the base model, and then going up from there you have the Traveler, and then you have the Adventure, which is what we were on for the last 2 days. And with that you get the side cases, you get hand guards, a skid plate, power plug-ins, so you have a USB on one side and the 12 volt on the other. and that is really useful, you know, as we progress with using GPSs, GoPros, all that kind of stuff. You can get that powered, you know, or maybe you're just using your phone for everything, and you can just plug that right into the USB or the 12 volt if you have that. It just makes the bike just even that more useful during travel or just even around town. It's something that I would definitely pop for, at least, you know, the outlets. I would probably replace the handguards with something a little stiffer because I want to push myself to the point that I crash, but the luggage is always handy, and I'm looking forward to using it on the way home. Yeah, so over the last 2 days, again, like, thank you to Kawasaki for really putting the time and work in to give us a good idea of what this bike can handle and really what it's meant for. You know, we put a lot of miles down, more miles than on any other press launch that I can think of, which today I was a little skeptical with a 240 mile day with everything that we need to do at these launches, but we got it done. We had a good time, and, you know, high fives at the end of the day. We had a great time, and it just, again, it showcases how, you know, all the guys here know how to ride motorcycles, but again, the Kawasaki KLR 650 is such an easy motorcycle to ride, and it's so forgiving. So there was a point when we got into some deep silt beds, and I was talking to one of the guys, and, you know, when you get squirrely in that, if you were on a big adventure bike, a middleweight, just something that's much bigger than the KLR 650, you know, there's probably a good chance a couple guys would have went down. But with this bike, it's just so forgiving in that regard that you can kind of just correct your mistakes. And it's not so performance oriented that every time you hit the throttle, you're breaking the rear end loose and dealing with that and you know, trying to find traction. The KLR it's a tractor in that regard, and it just tractors through basically everything you point it through. And when you're out with a group of, you know, friends and people you know, and you're riding a machine like this together, you know, I don't want to say it doesn't matter what machine it is, but you're going to have a good time. And the KLR gives you that opportunity, the ease of riding, and it gives you that opportunity at a great price point. And that's why I think it's been so popular over the years. And these incremental changes that have brought it kind of up to par with, you know, where I think it should be for 2022. I think, you know, it's just going to go on being a really great selling bike.